Just Hockey Show. I'm the Trev. Sweet. Continue with retired numbers. I'm still knocking out the easy ones before I finish the big ones. So by my math, I've got 2, maybe 3 more easy ones, counting this one. And then it's back to writing majority scripts, but that's okay. I'm at least done 2. I've at least got 2 almost done, so we'll cross that when we get there. But either way, today we're talking about the first number retired in Philadelphia. And when we talk about Barry Ashbee, we don't talk necessarily about how great a defenseman he was. He was good. We talk more about what could have been. His career wasn't overly long, 4 seasons in Philly, to be exact. But the story will kind of remind you that life can be short. So make the most of it while you can. At the meantime, let's talk about the number 4 for Barry Ashbee. So Ashbee's career with the Flyers began in a trade with the Pittsburgh Penguins on May 22nd, 1970. Despite having played in only 14 games beforehand in 1966 with the Bruins, this would be the point where he didn't look back. This would be the point where he's a full-time NHLer. He's not playing junior in Hershey. He's actually playing on an NHL club. And it did wonders for him for this season. For the 70-71 season, he played in 64 games, amassing 4 goals, a career high 23 assists, for a career high 27 points. Now, the Flyers didn't make the playoffs that season, so there's no playoff points to talk about here. For 71-72, his second season, there was some changes amongst the organization, most notably a head coach. And this is where Fred Shearho came in. This is where the Broad Street Bullies' reputation kind of started to take off. And it must have worked wonders because the Flyers were in a tie for 4th place in the West Division. They only managed to finish in 5th place because they scored 20 less goals. They had the same amount of wins, the same amount of losses, the same amount of ties. They scored 20 less goals. So they didn't make the playoffs that year. But for Ashbee, the change must have gave him a chip on his shoulder because the season before, where he'd only amassed 44 penalty minutes, this time it was 75. So Shiro kind of definitely gave him edge. Point-wise, in 73 games, 6 goals, 14 assists for 20 points. It's not a bad deal there at all. Just remember I was saying the Broad Street Bullies, perception was taking over. Well, this is very evident in 72-73. Not only did the Flyers make the playoffs, they made it as far as the semifinals, losing to the inevitable Cup champion Montreal Canadiens. But as far as the regular season goes, remember how I said he did 75 the season before, as far as penalty minutes was concerned? 72-73 was 106 penalty minutes. So definitely playing with a huge edge. But again, consider the team that he was playing with. The Flyers, the Bullies, of course. 64 games, 1 goal, 17 assists. For 18 points, and that's just regular season. Playoffs, only 4 assists in 11 games. Sadly, those are his only playoff points in his career. So this brings us up to 73-74, which turned out to be Ashbee's last season as a player in the NHL. And it was a great season for the Flyers, obviously. First in the West Division and second overall in the league by 1 point against the team they would beat for the Stanley Cup, the Boston Bruins. In 69 games, he managed 4 goals and 13 points, or 13 assists for 17 points, and only amassing 52 penalty minutes. So 106 the season before was dropped in half. He was definitely focused more on his offensive production as far as the regular season is concerned. And that actually managed to get him a second All-Star team nomination. So definitely a good thing when you're playing with the Broad Street Bullies, right? In 6 playoff games, though, he managed no points. And it was only 6. And this is where we kind of go from riding the good to riding the bad. Game 4 against the New York Rangers. An errant slap shot, ironically enough, from his old roommate in junior and Team Canada when they played together. An errant slap shot managed to hit Ashbee in the eye. As the NHL did and does have vision protocols when it came to being able to see stuff, his right eye, which was the one that got hit, managed only 15% working vision, which meant his playing career was essentially over at that point. But despite all this, he managed to get his name on the cup because he played the majority of the games, right? Now, his career wasn't done as far as being with the Flyers was at this point. So after said injury, Ashbee managed to stay with the club in an assistant coach role and even helped the Flyers get to their second straight Stanley Cup final for the 74-75 season. However, for Ashbee, this is almost the point where things go from bad to worse. In April 1977, while still with the club, Ashbee was diagnosed with leukemia, which he eventually succumbed to the next month. Damn. Ashbee had his number retired posthumously on October 13th, 1977, which was the home opener for the 77-78 season for the Flyers. On top of that, Flyers announced the formation of the Barry Ashbee Trophy, which is handed out annually to the best defenseman on the team. So, nice little touching tribute. Way to honor the guy, right? So, quick recap for his career at the Flyers. In 270 games, he managed 15 goals, 67 assists for 82 of his 85 career points, while managing 4 assists in 17 playoff games. On top of getting a cup as a player and as assistant coach, he also had that second All-Star team nomination in 1974. So yeah, it's definitely a case of what could have been. You know, it could have been something really good for not just Ashbee, but for the Flyers. But you'll never know, right? I mean, at least you got what you got while he was still of the earth. And while he helped you get 2 cups. It's nothing to sneeze at. So that's another one of Trev's hockey shows. I want to thank you for tuning in. Don't think I don't appreciate the gesture, especially if you're right here. It's working well. So let's keep this good thing going, right? While you're at it, well, since you're here, give me that like. And then hit the subscribe button while you're at it. Subscribe makes you feel good. You know you want to. I know you want to. Let's do it up. Socials in the description down below. Moving forward, as far as retired numbers is concerned, like I said, 2 more easy ones before I start getting down to the ones that take a little more time. So look for those. But either way, in the meantime, in between time, be looking for more videos from Trev. Later.